think that's it. Okay. Should be good. I'm gonna take you guys down. I need like a clip for this. That kind of works. Good. And then we click go live. Alrighty. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's get some stuff together. This is gonna be easy, supposedly. Or watch, it'll be the one that kicks my butt. Should be an easygoing stream. Those are the ones that I need to set that somewhere. Alright, let's clean out the keg. Pop this off. I hope it's clean. We don't need any more buildup. Select. Perfect. And then hopefully this works. It does work. Good. Good morning. We got a truck today. We're just doing the sides and the rear. So we're gonna do 5 on everything. It's gonna be dark. So let's get that filled up. We'll check the lines, make sure they're clean. Stuff is getting taped. Oh yeah, let's find film. So, since it's a truck, somewhere in here I've got a 5% roll. This one. That'd be sad if that's the only short roll I got. I don't think so. Or, there we go. I'll keep an eye out for it. I found a box. Gonna see what's in the rest of this one too. This one's good. This one's been hanging out for a little while. It's probably like a couple windows left on this. How much tint slip in a 3-liter backpack sprayer? Well, I can tell you about 1 ounce per gallon. I would just do a conversion on that. Ask ChatGPT. But it's going to be in the neighborhood of probably like half an ounce.
3.8 liters.
Yeah, I'm not going to math right now.
I was trying to do it too.
What do you think about Reno? I've never used it in person. I've heard not great things about it, but that was a while ago. I haven't, in the past, maybe like year or so, really seen anything negative about it. There really hasn't been any catastrophic brand failures amongst like anybody. There used to be brands that were pretty notable to stay away from. Like a lot of people would sign up and use them, and then you would have a bunch of people saying after a couple years that it went to shit. We just haven't seen that in a while. So I would hope if that's still the case, we would get reports of it. That's one reason I really like big communities on that. Alright, let's check our water. Just run that through. I used to not do this, but recently I ran a bunch of vinegar through it to clear out the lines. So I'm making sure that it's still good. Key. All right, so for your GMs, we're gonna press and hold the switch. And then everything kicks on. That puts it in ignition mode. It'll keep everything on longer while you're tinting it. It's gonna be an easy going day. We hope. What ringer? Alrighty. We're gonna grab our 5. I might have to get some new blades. What's the normal price for a front windshield? We have 3 tiers. Starts at $150. We're going dark. We'll hand cut these. Should we double cut it? Maybe we should single cut them. All right. So I took one piece of film, I flipped it. So we're cutting out 2 patterns at the same time. They're gonna be mirrored. So once these are cut out, we're gonna go to the other side. Wow, you guys want double 5? Look, can you see through that? You can see through that, right? Gonna have to give Avery Dennison Encore Supreme. Yeah, I hope it's better. Keep an eye out for haze on that stuff. I haven't seen Avery Ceramic in a while, but that was the problems that they had. I should go get a trash can too. Let me go grab one. Do you know what's OP? Trash cans with wheels. They're extra nice because you can just do this. Yay. How many different film options should you offer? So, we have a software called Tintly, and I just assumed most people had like 3 tiers. Dude, everybody does it different. Some people have 4, some people have 1, some people have 2.
2 or 3 are probably the most common in the tinting.
2 or 3? So whatever works for you and your customers. The whole idea is to portray some type of value though. So I would suggest 2. 3 tends to work really well. For a good, better, best model, 3 is generally gonna be, like the middle option's generally gonna be your most popular. That's kind of the design. But it's always nice to have a tier for people that just wanna throw extra money. Because there'll be a certain percentage that's just like, I just want your best. So tack these together. I feel short on this one. Top edge knife. Do we have to change out the blade? Yeah, we probably should. I use C2 carbon, which is what we're doing now. C2 ceramic, which is my middle, and then apex. Do I have a marker? I do. We'll draw where you can get them. Well, this is, it's there. 313tint.com. That's where you can get the skinny blades. Here, I'm gonna even step up on a stool. So I'll show you guys a little bit better how we're gonna cut them. So, why thin blades? Thin blades slice a little bit better. This is a stainless knife. This is what I do most of my cutting with. Blade's a little bit thicker, and the metal housing or holder, when you push it up against the tint, if you push too hard, you're gonna put a little groove in the tint. So that's one reason we like a plastic holder. And then we use a thinner carbon steel blade. Carbon steel is harder, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Being very thin is gonna make it weaker, but it just slices through really easily with much less snagging. So when we make that cut, you always want to make sure you take your blade holder and push it up against the glass so you can hear it like hit. Hear that? So we're using the blade holder to hold the tint against the top edge. Angle your knife forward and just keep it the same angle throughout your cut so that edge is nice and even. Will they scratch the glass? Absolutely. So we just keep that blade specifically for the top edge. It's not great. It's not going to be a great blade for trimming here. Doing our corners and stuff. It's so thin it just slipped out. Let me grab it. So I use these ones. They're like paper thin. I use them just for the top edge. Must have not been in this hole quite right. There we go. Let's put that back. It's a good starter tint to learn with. Just an inexpensive dyed film, more for shrinking reasons. We've kind of figured out, like in GeoShield's lineup, their carbon is going to be the best film to practice with. It's the most forgiving on shrinking. It's not quite their cheapest film, but Pro Classic will sometimes burn, where C2 carbon is still fine. But cheap carbons and cheap ceramics, they're just not super user-friendly. Like when carbon and ceramic first came out, it wasn't super user-friendly. And so those traits are still often in the cheap versions. What do you think about 3M? I think you're paying more for brand than you're getting out of film when it comes to 3M. It's not that you're getting a bad product. It's just you're generally paying like twice as much for the product, but you're not getting any better products than what we're installing. It's just they have like crystalline, which is a very different film, and then they got your regular offerings like color stable. But with a company like that, it's more about leveraging the brand. And if you can do that, then it's worthwhile. 3M's more known and popular in the architectural film space. They're just way less known in automotive. I'm gonna pick up the carbon film later. Nice. Thoughts on XPEL's Prime XR? XPEL's whole lineup is gonna be pretty good. Again, more of a brand. So there always comes like a point where you're getting a nice brand that makes you feel good. That's what your XPELs are. 3Ms, Lumar. It's like you're still getting good products, but you're paying a lot more for branding. Do you put it on the outside? No, it'll go on the inside. Don't you worry. I mean, maybe we'll do that today. Alright, so we need a blade. Time to install. How often do defroster grids get damaged during this work? Not often at all. Just from being careless. Alright, we're going to start with taking a 1-inch razor. It doesn't matter if it's stainless or carbon on the 1-inch razors, because we're taking the blade and we're scraping it along the surface. Then we're going to roll it down a little bit, spray, and then do the top. I hold it at a very slim angle to the glass. So this is just to make sure nothing's stuck to the window. It doesn't scratch the window. We're not cutting on it. We're just scraping the surface. Do you know you can take these to like your kitchen cabinets and clean grease off that way? You do a steep angle. Don't cut into them. Or low angle, sorry. That's what I mean. Wipe off that top edge. Then we're going to swap this out with a cleaning squeegee. Right like that. We're gonna grab a tri-edge card. It's one of these guys right here. And we're gonna scrape this water right out of the sides. And then I can spray. And we're ready to install. I tend to just do that twice. Thank you. Good morning. I don't even have a great reason why I do it twice. Just being thorough. But the first time should have cleaned it plenty. And then we're gonna hose the window down. We're just gonna coat it. And now let's peel our tint. So I'm gonna peel the corner. We're gonna pull it close to the film so we don't just rip this off the window. Right, like hold it close, pull it straight down. Halfway. Really like halfway here, and then it's a little bit more than halfway here, but it's close. We got plenty of up and down space on a truck. So as long as you peel a good part of it, we're gonna take it, open this door back up, and work on this top area. Nice angle, good. So I'm gonna get this back side of the door up here first. I'm gonna let this side kind of hang off. We're gonna take the film, fold it in without really pressing hard. So we're just rolling it in. Folding is a bad word. Rolling it inwards. And then that'll let us push it nice and gently into the seal without disturbing it. Then we're gonna pick this side up. We're gonna do the same thing. Flatten out this front edge, roll our tint inwards so it's nice and flat. We're gonna tuck this into the side. See? It didn't look stressful. And now we've been able to fan our film back out. And we can get this as close we're gonna get as close to the top edge without going over. That's the goal. How do you get it without creasing? You don't push super hard. So like when we roll it, we're not trying to like fold it hard. We're rolling it inwards. So you flatten it out enough so it'll just slide into the seal. And we're gonna start squeezing this out. It's still shifting around quite a bit. So use a lighter squeegee some of the water out, bump it back to as close as you can without going over. It's like Price is Right rules. Right about there. Now it's a little bit more anchored. We're gonna take a harder squeegee, push a little firmer. Make sure we get that nice and close still. Go back to our card, tri-edge card, wipe off the edge. Put that in the seal. We'll swipe up. Same thing with this. Put this into the seal, swipe up. Give it a little wiggle test. Just make sure we get some extra water out if there is any. Meta glasses? No, they don't stream. They don't stream to TikTok. It's like 30 minutes on Instagram. We got an Osmo. Look. See? This is... Look at that. You guys are right here. That's almost creepy. Woo. Oh, I unclipped it. There we go. Now it's clipped. Then we're going to roll this up. Then we're going to rinse out the bottom. There is a lubricant. It's called Tint Slip. It's a mild soap. It helps slide the film in place. And then when the water dries, and any time in between, it starts to stick really aggressively. A lot of people buy dyed film instead of ceramic, so I buy black shade rolls. It just depends on where you are. We stopped installing dyed film, but they still make nice versions of it. There's a lot of people that just want tint. They don't care about the differences. And that's perfectly fine. Every market's different. There's some people that buy used cars, some people that buy new cars. Some people that buy expensive things, and some people that save their money. Alright, where's my... There it is. And we're going to squeegee out the rest of this. Switch back to our harder squeegee. Make sure we're pushing water. See that water? That's what we're trying to make sure. At the front edge of that squeegee blade. It'll make it dry faster. Customer can roll their windows down sooner. It'll avoid little water pockets and air. This is 5. We're doing 5 on all the sides and the rear. Do you ever use a torch? Hardly ever. I pretty much only use a torch if there's a coating on the glass. Torches are cool. They're just extreme heat. So if you're like, I like heat guns, but they just don't get hot enough. That's what you use a torch for. How much do you trim the leading edge? I'll show you on the other side. So we double cut. We got a pattern all ready to go. That squeegee with the white handle. This one, little baby squeegee. It's part of a set. It's called the Quarter Pro. Comes with like a razor blade scraper and a longer handle and a couple different blades. So this side, we're gonna start with the window rolled up. You're welcome, brother. We're gonna grab a blade. I forgot my other one. It's probably thrown out, so we're gonna open a fresh one. We're gonna start with scraping the bottom here. I'll use a 1 blade per car typically. 1 blade per door would be a bit excessive. I've used plastic scrapers for a long time. Those are also pretty good. You just gotta be careful, because as they scuff up at the edges, they can pick up little pieces of dirt, and then you'll scratch up a window with a plastic scraper. I've done that. That cost me like over $500. Probably all the razor blades that I saved by using a plastic scraper. Not fun. Stop that noise. What noise? I hear nothing. I hear nothing. If you tint long enough, you don't hear anything anymore. It's white noise is what it is. I noticed something about this top corner. The door notification. You know, every once in a while, chat comes up with something that I just never thought of it that way. And a door notification is a hilarious way of saying it. Please turn off the door notification. I might do it for that reason. Why can't I find rolls of ceramic? Did you Google rolls of ceramic on the internet? There's no way you actually looked. You walked into like a hardware store. But they even have ceramic tint in like a Walmart. Alright. Where do you get your tint? 313tint.com. Alright, so we're gonna peel this. And again, halfway. Or a little bit more. We're gonna coat it. If you don't turn off the door notifications, I'm out. Well, now I got tint in my hands. I'm stuck. How long does it take you to do a whole truck, including the windshield? Too long these days. We'll tell people without a windshield, typically up to 3 hours, and with the windshield up to 4. We always try and get it done before the end of that time frame. So if I'm undistracted and just tinting away, it's no problem. We'll typically have it done within like 3 hours. I used to have to be faster. All right, line this up as close as we can. Are you able to say 313 tint without TikTok? Probably not. Then we're gonna take a tri-edge card. We are. Ooh, this looks nice. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that top edge. Oh, that's so nice. Can you not push the button on the inside of the door to stop the beep? What button on the inside of the door would stop the beep? Or are you talking about like this one? This button? Is this 20? No, it's 5. The camera always makes films look lighter than they are. What beep? Tuck this in. By the door latch. The lock? Is that what we're talking about? What's the liquid you're spraying? Glass cleaner? Lord, I hope not. It's a tint solution. It's just a mild soap and water. How is illegal? Tint allowed as a service. Oh, they probably don't like that. I probably shouldn't yell that. It is legal. If you got a doctor's note, it's perfectly fine. It's okay, guys. We're almost done the driver's door. Anybody that's still here after the door notification, you have what it takes to become a window tinter. You will have survived the dinging. Eventually, I'll tell you, eventually you just don't hear it. What dinging? Exactly. little black push button. Is it this one? Nope, that didn't do it. Oh, it stopped. There we go. Looks pretty. We should probably do something about the back doors now. Yeah, water still looks good. What dinging? Exactly. Let me see what I got left here. If I got enough to do the back window, I'll save this for the back window. That's pretty close. Ooh, I think I can get the back window out of this. Let's do that. Have you faced any issues with the Grand Cherokee? No. Nothing out of the ordinary. All that water goes into the door. It does, you're right. But you know what? Do you know what's so cool? They thought of that. Because you know what? What the fuck is this? A hole? Does rainwater get into my door? Where does it go? It comes out like these. These are drain holes. It'll be okay. Did you lock the keys in the car? Yes. We're stuck. Or no, as chat would say these days, we're cooked. We're cooked, guys. There's just no way to get into the car anymore. All right, well, good news for you is we have rear doors that are not cut yet. Everybody's amazed. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. It's not crazy. The only thing that dings when the ignition is on is going to be when the driver's door is open. So you close the driver's door or latch it, and then it turns off. Or when you tint for like 15 years, it's always off because you just don't hear it anymore. So we're going to double cut this, meaning we're going to take one pattern, then we're going to flip this around, and then layer over it, and we're going to cut both sides at the same time. Amazing. What a magician. Spectacular. The window tint spectacular. That's what we'll call it. You're right. Aluminum doors won't rust. They'll corrode. Okay. So now we got two pieces of film. Both one layer is facing this way, one layer is facing opposite. So tint side is facing out right now. I'm going to take my squeegee. I'm going to tack these both together. And then we're going to make a cut. When you make a cut, always make sure you snap off your blade. So that way it's nice and sharp. We're going to put our blade that far out. Now, we do have this funny cut at the bottom to flatten out this edge. So really what we should do first is we want to take our knife and treat this like a side edge. And we put part of it down here where it kind of flattens out. And then I just ram my blade along it. And then there you go. Now we have a curve. Now we're going to pick a side. Both of these are straight, so there's no funny cuts going on here. We're just gonna take it, line it up right along that edge. Again, my knife is just poked a little bit out. Poke that in, cut down. See? Nice and straight right along it without digging into it. Beautiful. Why not just leave it straight? You know, on this one, you kind of could. That seal comes up though, so like it's flatter here. You just would have a lot of tint to tuck here. So I'm still gonna tuck it into the seal. It's just gonna be a little bit more uniform. Some interiors will just go flat, but in this case, we matched it. All right, I'm gonna step on my stool because I'm short. Then we're gonna rinse some water behind here. We're gonna loosen it up. So we need to make our pattern a little bit wider so we don't have any gaps. I'm gonna trim some of this excess off. So we're gonna shift it over. I'm gonna shift it over to the edge of this rubber here. It's probably a little farther than it needs to be, but this is an easier door window to tint. So I'm gonna have a nice generous overlap on this side. And then we're gonna hop over to the other side and we're gonna make that same cut without it shifting. Don't shift. So if it shifts on me, there, now it's not gonna shift on me. So we're gonna make that same cut again, but on this side. So we're gonna pinch our film in on the edge, find where that is. Just the little tiny tip of the blade out. There we go. We got another cut. Then when we shift it back, we're gonna do it half as much. So we have, remember we moved it all the way over to this edge, then we backed it off. Then on this side, it's the same overlap. So we have about 1/4 of an inch to 1/8, anywhere in between there, overlap on both sides. And then we're gonna take the bottom and shift it down. So we pull it straight down because it's gonna go into the bottom seal as well. So this way I eliminate any gaps. Now we're gonna roll our window down. So we just roll it down a couple of inches so we get at that top edge. So, and then we're gonna extend our blade. Actually, let's snap it off first and then we'll extend it. This little guy. Say bye-bye. Ah. So this is gonna cut right into the film, but the way we're gonna do it is just like this. That blade holder is gonna hit the glass. That's really important. So the blade holder is gonna hold the tint against the top edge. And then we just keep the blade nice and straight, angle it forward just a bit. And then just keep the same angle and always push the blade holder against the tint. That's why I like a plastic blade holder with an extra thin blade. Makes cutting that edge really precise and everybody's favorite word, easy. So at this point we need to straighten out our sides and get rid of the tabs because we didn't get all the way to the top corners, we didn't get all the way to the bottom, but we have enough information here to just straighten out our pattern. If I were to make this cut, where's this going? Straight, 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 straight. So it probably goes straight. So we're gonna take a ruler. You can do this freehand too, you don't need a ruler. Chop. But I'll do the side first. And then, look at that, we just got a little bit on this side. Cut that off. I'm gonna slice it just a little bit farther down. I don't want anything overlapping, and I wanna continue this cut as seamless as I can. And then we're just gonna round the corner just to take off any sharp points. So same thing here. This all just... It's kind of funny how it sticks. It's a stainless ruler. It just, sometimes it... Oh my God, there we go. Straighten this out. Round our corner. Now keep in mind, you can always trim more tint off. You can't put tint back. So it's perfectly fine if you're a little high up or you're a little far out on your cut, because then you can just shave little slivers off until you get it where it needs to be. But what you're going for is a nice, seamless, like you shouldn't see any divots, you shouldn't see any areas that protrude up. So you just want it nice and consistent, because this is gonna line up along the top edge of the window. The bottom edge doesn't matter as much. This is all getting tucked into the bottom. So this is where I had it flat. This is where I started my cut. This little divot here, I'll straighten it out, but it just doesn't matter near as much. We gotta figure that out. We're popping breakers more consistently now, and I'm not sure why. Well, okay. Yeah, okay, smart guy.
It's almost like it's a fail-safe or something.
I'll just straighten this out. There we go. So the real magic trick is that I cut 2 door windows in the time of 1. Call an electrician. Yeah, probably. We just got a lot of things plugged in. So then we're gonna separate these patterns. Look at that. So this one is for the driver's side. The weird thing is that the breaker was fine. It's a really old box though. The way we had everything hooked up was perfectly fine, but now it just, here and there, it pops when we turn on our shirt press. This shut off, we're gonna press and hold it again. They use soak ropes and towels, but even then they can't guarantee. Oh yeah, we gotta roll our window up. That's what we were doing. No, you can absolutely keep a windshield safe. A shop saying that they can't guarantee the window is safe, I wouldn't take my car there. It's just an excuse. All right, so we need to shrink these. Overloading can damage breakers and your panel. You know what? That sounds right. We've only popped it a couple hundred times. It's overloaded for sure. But it's just annoying because it was fine for a long time and it wouldn't pop. But now when we turn on the shirt press, you mean all these lights up here that are, a lot of them are plugged into the same circuit, and then also stuff, and like it all needs to be redone, I know that. Especially when we have classes. All right, so we're gonna shrink this. And today we're gonna do snap shrinking. So snap shrinking, I'm gonna squeegee out most of the water. I'm not gonna like try and press it super hard, but just lightly sweep out the water. I'm gonna pick it up off the bottom. We're just gonna take the heat gun and just apply some heat again to the bottom. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna shrink it and get it to smile or curl in. Oh, smile. Look at that. Look at that little derpy face now. It looks like me. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other sides. Lights need to be in their own breaker. They probably should. Heat a little bit at the bottom. Get that little smile on it. I'm an artist. When did you start? When did you start putting the tint on the outside? It's a new thing. We now draw on the tint too. I will. I'll get electricity done, but electricity costs money. So anywhere from like probably 5 to 10K to redo our electrical. That's gonna be fun. Just so we can use a shirt press for a little bit longer. All right, now we're gonna install it. So we're gonna take a blade, scrape the bottom, and then we're gonna roll it down a few inches so we see the top edge. Then we're gonna scrape the top area. We're just making sure that nothing's stuck. No dealer tag stuff. No speckles. And then we're gonna take a rag, wipe this grease off the top edge, and then the dirt off of the very, very top. Grab a pink clean. This is our cleaning squeegee. Sweep it left to right or right to left. Just make sure you're using gravity to help you out. So we're not just taking a squeegee and then like this doesn't do anything. This just smears dirt around, or like I'm right? Like I can see where my squeegee blade starts and I can see where it ends. You should always just take it overlapping strokes so everything's nice and clean. We got a lot of electricians in chat. That's what I learned today. All right, just like the front doors, we're gonna peel our tint. We're gonna hold the liner very close to the tint when we do that, so it just peels nice and easy. Coat it. And then we're going to start with one side, so we can't tuck it in all at once. So we're gonna start with one side, take the film, roll it up, and then we're gonna just, you see we're rolling it in, we're not folding it hard, but that's what it should look like. And we slide this into our window, or seal, sorry, we're on the window. And then we do the same thing. Same thing, you see that? See how it's curved in? It's not really folded. And then we just slide that right into the seal. I actually am an electrician. I appreciate it. I know, we'll have somebody look at it. It's just gonna be a minute probably before it happens. In the meantime, we will move extension cords around and try not to overload stuff so much. Lightly squeegee that out. That just helps smooth the film out, helps you bump it into place. Then we're gonna use a harder squeegee. There we go. Make sure that's nice and tacked up. Rinse out underneath. then we're gonna pull the lining out. Oh, I know. All right, so we're gonna tuck these corners in now. So we're gonna start with one corner here. Go over to the other side, push this, pull that seal back. But you'll notice it can't tuck all the way down because it's now hanging up on the panel and we have the seals in the way. So we're gonna take this, pick this up and push it flat against the window, go back to a corner, and now we can pull the seal back and you'd pull it this way. So this side comes like that, it starts to pull tight. Anywhere that's hung up, so let me get my hand out of the way. You see these? We just pull the seal back and then shuffle the tint in there. Push the rest of the bubbles out. Now we'll get the rest of the water out. What happens to all the fluids? They go to the tint reservoir. You gotta top up your oil, your coolant, and then your tint fluid. You gotta make sure you got plenty of that. Peel away the tape on the sides, and we'll check it over. It's hard to check it over because it's so dark. It's a nice thing about doing 5 over factory. Now the rear is super dark. All right, this side's done. We have a pattern cut for the other side. We already have it shrunk. So should we take this over there? Yeah, it's just one door window. All that just for cops to pull you over. I know, right? Crazy. Manifesting a cop ticket in your life. That's amazing. Yes, this is 5. This is 5 over factory. So see, that's tinted already. We going dark. Blinker fluid, shit. All right, let's roll this down. A couple inches. Scrape the rest of the window. Stop whining. Wipe off the top edge. Then we're gonna grab a cleaning squeegee. Top to bottom. Do you get distracted from these questions? No, not at all. Oh, chat's going crazy today. You got like people arguing. We have like certified electricians debating each other. It's great. I'm just trying to tint some windows. Just wait till I ask about the 220 that I got. I'll show you guys. I got some seat covers hanging on it. All right. So we're gonna start with one side up flat on the glass. Then we're gonna roll the tint so then we can tuck it into the side, just like that. Then we come to this side, do the same thing. We're gonna pull it back, get it nice and flat on the window. See how the tint is curled here? Do you see it? Do you see it? I can't get any fucking closer than that. And then we tuck that into the side. Grab our cleaning squeegee. We're gonna start pushing out some bubbles. Now it's pretty good. Harder squeegee. Press out the extra. So we're gonna make sure that the breakers never go again. Not for our own safety, but just so we can talk about window tint instead of electrical. You know, window tinters will argue about installing the top half and then the bottom half versus just pulling the seals. I couldn't imagine what an electrical group is like. I'm happy I'm a window tinter now. Let's roll this out. And we're gonna rinse this out. Pull the rest of the liner here. Toss it aside. We're gonna just rinse underneath it, wet the adhesive, and let's tuck our corners. So there's one corner. We're gonna pull back the seal, slide it there, go to this side. Wait till HVAC. Oh boy, if you thought it was just electrical that we needed to fix, wait till you see what we do with our HVAC. We have an oversized AC unit up front. So I busted a hole. Do you see that little tube up there? Yep, that's dumping AC back here. It's nice. It's better than it was. All right, let's squeegee out the rest of the water here. Then squeegee out all the edges. Right like that. And right like that. Now we're gonna peel off the covers, peel off the tape. There we go. Swipe off the outside. And now we got a back window to do. Oh, nice. Thank you. Oh, the live stream stopped. Ugh. I must have missed it. We've probably been streaming for an hour. Oh, it said something about the internet connection. Alright, practice mode. Go live.
You need to build an automation that sounds an alarm if the live ever disconnects.
There we go. No, it's good on, yeah, but TikTok. TikTok ended, so we have to fire that back up. That is such a big handle for the seat. It's like an ejector. Okay, that seat's good. Let's take this roll. Make sure we don't lose that. Headrests are out of the way. This one is very straightforward. About the worst thing that can happen on a window like this is just speckles along the top because it like bumped the headliner, or you had little headliner bits, or the headliner. So we're gonna take some tape and I'm gonna cover just that leading edge of it. You recommend tuning a sunroof? Well, you can see how fast she can go. Oh, tinting. Tinting it's totally fine. It's not, it depends. You have a shade there. If you like leaving it open, ceramic is going to be nice on it. And also just making it darker. We don't do a ton, but every once in a while. But if it's like a panoramic EV roof, chances are it's already tinted and it's already ceramic, so you're not going to do anything by adding a layer of ceramic. So now we're not going to have any little fibers come in contact with the film, which is always nice. Let's go cut it out. Are you the inventor of the Slim Slam? That's me. Slim Slam. See? Look at that. Made in Detroit. 313tint.com. Is it over here? We have that roll? We do. We have this roll. I subscribed. Heck yeah. Hopefully it connects again. Oh, good. Heck yeah. That's our seal guard tape. So it's the same tape I was putting on the sides. It sticks to headliners really well. But it sticks without feeling like it's going to rip a headliner apart. Or when you spray it, it's not just going to fall off. It's better than our older version was. Our older version used to just fall off. Like me, I've really fallen off over the years. Are you a Detroit Lions fan? I don't watch football. I don't watch any of them, really. But I get updates from people. Okay. So, this I don't think can be copied. Yeah, 24 is just a little too short for it. It'd be funny if you could fit 2 of these back windows on it. But you can't. So this is our back window. We're going to click cut. All my settings are correct. Just cheating, I know. But on a back window, it's going to cut a prettier outline faster than I will. That's a computer straight line right there. So it just needs to get wider than the border, and it'll be nice. Ooh, let's go get. Gotta go get my sprayer. So I can hand cut these, but the plotter's just faster, especially when it's a slider, not just a solid. But it's 5%. The back window is factory, so it just makes it harder to see your edge. That machine is expensive. That one is about $8,000. But there's lots of machines that do just fine. So that's just if you want to get the crazy one. That's ones if you want to mean business. And then hope our settings are dialed in. Ta-da! There we go. That was quick. Good old red dot. I love the red dot. That's why I hand cut the doors. There's still situations where I'm just gonna hand cut things. There's situations where I'll use the plotter. The best is both. Now it's easy to tint computer, make the cut. I'm 43. I tint since I was 17. I used to, oh, you gotta work on your spelling. I used to make perfect cut with my hand and pulse. Now anybody can tint. Well, it doesn't make it easy. It makes it easier. There's still a great amount of skill. And then not every pattern is gonna line up nice. That's the thing, is like, this is the best software that I've used. It still lets me down. Sometimes they, older car, older pattern, it just wasn't really that great when they put it in there. And more so with PPF, I don't run into it personally with cars, but when a new car is released, it's not immediately going to be in the software. They have to get their hands on it, they have to cut out the patterns, they have to throw it in the software. I've never tried tinting. Watching this, I'm convinced I never will. I'll leave it to you guys. You know, there's so many things like that that I'm right on board with you. I don't do my own landscaping. Fuck that. I hate landscaping. If I need mechanical work on my car, I'm not doing that. I'm tinting the windows. We're like hairdressers for cars. That's what window tinters are. We make them look pretty, and we keep our hands clean. All right, so back window. Let's make sure it is squeegeed, and then we'll install our pattern. Do you pay for a subscription? Yeah, that software is $200 a month. Rinse this. Let's go grab our pattern. We really are hairdressers. I did tape the headliner. I've installed plenty of these without taping headliners, but if I'm gonna get dirt in one spot, it's gonna be right along the top edge from the tint scraping against it. So we're gonna start with this side. Make sure this is shift down. See, another reason why I might get fibers installing it this way. along the headliners because I install it this way. But I've tried reverse rolling truck back windows. I just don't like it as much. Getting it in clean is the hardest bit. But even that, really straightforward. We got plenty of space around it. Let's just make sure our pattern is nice. Start squeegeeing it out. There we go. Take a harder squeegee. Da, 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 da. How much do people pay for tinting cars? It depends. This one is $2.99 for all the sides and the rear. If we were doing a windshield in this film, we'd be $4.50. If it was our best, it'd be $6.50. So it just ranges. But yeah, that absolutely covers the subscription costs. We paid for the subscription in like part of this truck. Do you turn on the defroster lines? No. There's a few situations where I will, but not on most. What sprayer setup do you have? So we got this keg sprayer here. This is a 3-gallon tint keg. And then I ran it up to these reels here. So then it's easy to clean everything up. And I do one on each side. How much for removing tint? More so depends on where you are. There we go. Some places will charge hourly, some will just do one lump sum. We charge more, but we hardly get asked for removals. Most people don't come here for a removal. It'll take us generally, like if it's a bad removal, it'll take us longer to do the removal than it will tint the car. But often doing a removal makes retinting it harder because you have little bits of glue. Even though you clean it a bunch of times, you still have little bits of glue work its way into something and you're like, shit, gotta redo it. Do you plan on switching shops? My lease is up in a couple years now, which sounds more scary than it did 3 years ago. So we eventually might have to move. It's a little interesting here. So I signed a 5-year lease back in 2022, like October. But we've done a lot to this space. But when it came time to renewing our lease, this place wasn't quite like this. The shop looks nice, thank you. Yeah, we don't want to move, but what's most likely going to happen is my landlord's going to go, well, thank you for staying here. It now costs you $1,000 more a month to stay here. So at the time when I moved in, it was like $2,300. 2 years later, signed a lease renewal. It was $3,200. 33, 34, something like that. No, I think it was $2,400, and now it's $3,400. So, I signed a 5-year lease. So that price is maintained. But, you know, why don't you just buy your own shop? Because this shit's expensive. It's finding the right building and then wanting to spend over $1 million on it. I'd kind of rather go spend that on a new house. That sounds better to me. Oh, it goes this way? No, it doesn't. It goes this way. Yeah, but we need more than just a nice looking shop. So we need this space, and then we need space for inventory. And something we've played around with is becoming a warehouse. Good grief, 1K in that short time. Landlords know you put money into the place and not wanting to move, and they take advantage. Oh yeah, 100%. Especially because this was like 2020 and then 2022. So the market went burr. But yeah, he pulled up in his G-Wagon and smiled at me with his shiny white veneers and was like, "Your lease renewal." He didn't even get out. I was like, can it be a little less than $1,000 rate change? And he's like, sorry, I can't do that. The market's crazy. 24 is cheap. In Canada, you're paying 38. Yeah, it just depends on where you are. So we don't have a front door on this place. When you come to this building, you drive around to the back corner. So we effectively have the back corner of an L-shaped building. There's units that go that way, and there's units that go this way. So when I looked at it, it was bigger than I needed. I didn't want a space this big, but it was really nice, and it was nearby. Well, and I say nice. It was a big open space that was like a good blank slate. And then like we eventually, like last year we put all the cabinets in it. We did the flooring. We put that wall in for flat glass training. And then another thing that we ended up doing is because inventory, we didn't want to move buildings yet. All that stuff up there, we built a loft, including this section. This wasn't here before. But it was less expensive for us to do that than double our rent and move somewhere, because we were going to have to finish off a new space that we moved to. There was nowhere that we could find that was all done. Everything looked old. Everything looked dirty. So it's not like we could just like, oh yeah, there's an automotive shop that we can just move into and start paying like $3,000 a month. Fuck no. If it's $3,000 a month, it's getting major renovations. If it's more expensive than that, it's typically getting renovations, but it's in a nicer area. Or significantly more square footage. It's just everything's expensive. That's just how it is. How risky is it to have a tint shop in your own garage? I did that for like 4 months and I got notices from the city. I didn't want a shop. I wanted to stay at home. It was really nice though. But call your city and see what you can do. Some people, they're not allowed to, but they have nice neighbors that don't call the city and nobody notices. And then there's some that do. So that's one reason I moved into this place was we had momentum. Things were going really well. And then we got notices from the city to not tint there anymore. So I'm like, well, I gotta go find a location. So I just wanted to find something that was very close. But yeah, what was extra annoying is there were still people that were in the same city tinting out of their house, but they just never had neighbors call. So why would the city be called if you have your tint shop in the garage? Because you just have a neighbor that doesn't like you or doesn't like what you're doing. Oh, this is a little bit bigger than I thought it was, but this should be okay. I got a lightning to HDMI adapter. This is going to be a B camera. I just got a thing that'll make this work as a B camera. I'm waiting. Something else is coming today. You'll see. You'll see in the next stream, I think. Karen's. Yes. Yes, there are. They suck. It was extra annoying because it was like the start and like into the pandemic a little bit. So, get a broker to get a deal for you. Your renewal for a lease, the broker is gonna look and it'll get paid by the landlord. Yeah, but that's when there's money involved. Yeah, and like we're at that point where there'll be a little bit more involved, but like at the time we were just looking for somewhere less expensive. So we can have somebody look for us. Commercial spaces are kind of hard to come by. But credit to this landlord, he just made it really easy. Some places they're gonna want background checks and other things, and that's annoying. Some places aren't ready to move into. This place was available, and he was like, yeah, just sign the lease and give me a deposit and you're good to go. So like, he doesn't bug us. I have no problems. I asked him if we could build a loft, and he was just like, sure. He doesn't know we've actually done it. How much are front windshield ceramics? So we actually have 4,000 square feet, and we're still paying the same rent, but we did the modification, so there's that. How much are front windshields in ceramic? Would you recommend 35? We have two different films that we'll do that are ceramics. One is 200 and one is 250. Prices are gonna vary based on location, what they charge, how much work and time, and so some places will just be cheaper. That kind of relationship can go a long way and can be worth way more than money. Yeah, because it's just every building, like some landlord, like I think ours is somewhere in between. So there's like another tint shop that I used to work for. Their landlords hardly change their rent. He's easy to work with, but they've had issues with like the building and like other things. And it's not necessarily ideal because they're in like an auto parking lot. And they lose a lot of their parking spaces to the neighbors. So it's like everything's got its issues. This place, he just made it easy for us to come into. He doesn't care what we do as long as, you know, the building is still standing. It's like, yeah, if you're not causing trouble, everything's fine. You pay your rent. I don't care what you do. It's your space. Do you do windscreen PPF? Not yet. I'm definitely interested. I'd say the only thing that's keeping me from it is like, so if I tint a windshield, I just go up to this dotted line here. If I'm doing full screen PPF, you got to go up to near this. And sometimes it's covered up by hoods, wipers are in the way. You just got to work around that stuff. And it's just another thing that, like, it's expensive and it doesn't quite last in the same way that window tint does. The landlords are like, sure, go ahead and improve my property for me. I mean, yeah, a smart one would, but sometimes there's just like a lot of red tape with places. So I didn't think he'd have an issue with it. Most of them probably wouldn't, but in this case, it was still fine. Alrighty. I just started windshield PPF. I charge $400. Yeah, that sounds about right. With Matico's, 500 was the lower end of things, but now with installation becoming easier with flexible windshield protectors, that price can come down, but material is still expensive. What's a roll cost on that? If you sign a 5-year lease at like $3,200 a month, that means $200K. The broker gets like 1 or 2%. As of one of my shop's rent, he went to $3K for the renewal. Oh, okay, that's nice to hear. Yeah, maybe we can have somebody look for us. What do you think about color wrap these days? I think it's going in an interesting way. There's days I get excited about it, but I'm not in it. But you have colored PPFs, which are a step up from regular PPF, so it's just a better vinyl. It's a cool market. There's definitely way more people getting it done than I thought, and apparently like up north it's just way more popular than it is down south. So we want to get into PPF training eventually. It's just things have been busy, really busy over the past couple of months. So maybe soon, maybe more in the fall, we can start a program, but nothing yet. What's your opinion on Tint X? Tint X doesn't exist anymore. They are changing their brand again. 2003 Crown Vic. They're not fun. They're not so bad if you've been tinting for a while, though. They're just definitely round, and the seals are felty. Some funny cuts on that for sure. Can you show me the interior of this whip? Sure. Nothing crazy, but oh, it doesn't even look that dark. Oh, it's because the camera adjusted. Look at the windshield. Look at how much brighter the windshield is. That's how dark the back is. So we'll let it expose, and then there. It's very dark. The film trainer collab you did, was that PPF on the windshield or something else? Yeah, that was something else. That was Matico's windshield film. It's very rigid, a different installation. And I honestly wasn't a fan of it. It did its job. We left it on for a month. They have a ceramic version and a regular version. So we put the ceramic version on it, which is effectively like tinting your windshield in ceramic film, but it's on the outside. But it was blurry. It had this annoying orange peel to it. So after a month, I took it off. But it definitely saved our windshield from a chip during that time. So it did its job. How much are plotters? They range a lot. So this is going to be at the top of the market. This is wider than you need for window tint. So like for window tint, up to a 40-inch machine, which in Graphtec terms would probably cost around $5,000. I'll pull up some options. Let's see. Plotter Depot. So to just kind of run you through, this is Graphtec. Graphtec has been around for a very long time. They make really robust machines. So $72.95, that's what this machine is. But they have different sizes. So the lowest that you would want to go with, like 54s doesn't make sense for tint. 42 is where you would want to be. So you're either going to get that machine or that machine. But brands that'll do the same thing but save you some extra money. You have Jag. Jag, you can see you can get a 64 machine for like 5K. They even have a 72-inch machine, which is crazy. Graphtec doesn't even make a machine that's that big. But a 40-inch machine, this is what I would buy if I was buying a Jag, just for window tint, 36. But there's one down from there. That's going to be their workhorse machines. If I can find them. Paint protection film. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this lineup, they have the Workhorse 1 at 1600. I had this machine for about a year. It's perfectly fine. It just doesn't look that good. It's a little quirky. Up from there, there's the Workhorse 2, which I think they're basically discontinuing for the Workhorse 3. I don't know that for sure, but I had the Workhorse 2 for a little while. I literally just sold it. The thing about the Workhorse 1 and Workhorse 2 is roller positions are your biggest letdown. So on a Graphtec, I'm going to put that up. Let's retract some film. So we have this long roller, which means that we can move this top roller anywhere along this spot. So that means we can accommodate for a lot of different roll sizes. For window tint, you want a roller to line up here and a roller to line up on any of these spots. So you would move these ones so it gets to the edge of the film. So when I take my film, see if we can do this one-handed. There we go. Wow, I actually kind of guessed where it should be. So we're going to put a roller here, and we're going to put a roller here. We don't want any rollers in the middle, and then we'll just lock this down. And then on a Graphtec, I can push this button, and what it's going to do is that cut head is going to check where the film is and where each one of those rollers are. And then this is going to go back. And then we can click cut. On a Workhorse machine, you manually have to move the cut head to where the start position is, and it doesn't have that long roller, so your roller positions are not ideal. But they came out with a new machine called the Workhorse 3, and 50, I don't know why a 55 is an option. I would have thought they'd come out with like a 40-inch option and then a 60-inch option. But on the small side, you get the 55. That would be $25.99. I think that's well worth it. A 64 at $33.99. I just don't know if it's really going to be any better than the Jag. But the Jag's been a machine that's been out for a long time, so I would have to have both of them to really know one or the other. But if I was looking to save a little money on a machine, but I still want to get a really good machine, they're not in stock right now, but this is what I would get. I would get a 55-inch Workhorse 3 at $25.99. But there's other ones. Graphtec, Roland, Mamaki. There's more brands than that. Marketplace is really a good place to find a used machine. A lot of them are in good condition. They're just selling them used. The Jag is a workhorse. I have 3 Graphtecs. I've sold an FC9000. I have a 64-inch FC9000. You know what's funny about this machine too is Graphtec used to have one that was a little bit older, like a 8600. And I was able to take these and put them in standby. I can't do that on this machine. So every time that I set up a roll, it looks for 4 rollers every time. I wish I could just take 2 away, and then it would know where the roll is and it would set up faster. On their older machine that used to do that. The 9000 has too much static issues. Ooh, I maybe should have taken the static strip seriously then. Everybody just if they're getting a Graphtec, they're getting a 9000 because it's the best. They're shopping Graphtec, they're getting a 9000. I'm contributing to it. That machine is overkill. They're Graphtecs, they're made to just be cutting all day. But my dad's shop, he's got a FC 7000 all the way back from like 2003 that is still cutting today. Like 2003 or 2005 they got it. It was sitting in the back for a while, but it's been cutting basically nonstop since like 2005. Absolutely crazy. So they are built to last for sure. 2,500 for a workshop tool is peanuts. I know, but in the window tinting world, people feel like that's expensive. And like it does cost money, but dude, if you're a mechanic, you're gonna spend like you can spend $2,500 on a tool. Albeit an expensive one. But I was like $600 or $800 on like an impact gun alone. Like a nice socket set. Good God. And then you can get a whole machine for tinting and you don't need much more than that other than like some squeegees and stuff. You just don't need as much. My first machine was a CE 5000 I bought in 2011 and it's still running. Yep, they make good machines. Can you have AC going while tinting? Yeah, it's just nice to not have the AC blowing directly on you. Airflow is totally fine. But you see this tube up here that's hooked directly to my AC. And so when that's running up front, it's blowing air. So if it's tilted this way, like I'm not going to do a windshield or whatever, I'm going to tilt it away from it. You always got to think about like the exposure time. So when I'm about to install, I peel my tint, spray it, and then I get it on the glass. So the 15 to 30 seconds that it's peeled and not on the glass is the time that a piece of dust or something that can land on it. But you just look at your environment. If you don't see a bunch of floaties around you, chances are you're going to be fine. So you can have other stuff going on. It's just the big stuff would be like somebody using air guns, a vacuum running and then the exhaust is blowing over this way, or a heater or AC blowing right on the car, ceiling fans, that kind of stuff. Just like keep the airflow away from directly where you are. What was the flooring? Sweet shop, thank you. This was Race Deck. It looks pretty. If you look close, you see a lot of dirt under there. All our little snap blades, we just snap them off into the floor. So to clean this every once in a year, we should pull it all up, scrub underneath it, and sweep it out. We're coming to that time. I'm surprised you can still buy those machines. So many are making everything a lease now. Just like you can't buy software hardly anymore. It's all subscription. They've got a funny program, or at least I know with Roland. I'm assuming Graphtec has one too. So as soon as, like you can lease the machines. And then when it comes to the end of your lease, you can either like pay $1 to own it, or you can trade up into a new machine. But they do have lease programs for these. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I'm going to hop off here. Having fun. I'm just about to end it. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.